All right, back to it now. Digging in. Dearborn, Michigan. In the headlines a lot these days, especially after the mayor told a pastor at the school, at the city council meeting, not the school board, the city council meeting. He was not welcome, not just in the city council meeting, he wasn't welcome in the city, is the way that it was taken. Because he's a Christian? Dearborn, if I'm not mistaken, is also having the loudspeakers out there at 5:30 a.m. for a call to prayer in clear violation of city noise ordinances. Nobody's doing anything about it. Mary Grabar is the author of Debunking FDR, The Man and the Myth, a fellow at the Alexander Hamilton Institute for the Study of Western Civilization, and the founder of the Dissident Prof Education Project. Mary, thank you for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
You've read, Dearborn's not too far from where I am, maybe an hour and a half, maybe not that far. I don't go there much. I never have. It's the home of Ford Motor Company and Carhartt. Pretty all-American companies, those two. And yet we have this going on where a Christian minister being told, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome here at all. What do you make of this?
Well, it's the, great replacement theory that's been poo-pooed by people like Nicole Hannah-Jones, the Marxist who wrote the 1619 Project, which was the topic of my second book. So if you dare say anything about, Sharia law dominating in our cities, especially in Michigan, where, the political candidates have names that you can't pronounce or don't recognize. This is what comes of it when you have mass immigration without an educational system and a culture that encourages assimilation. You have these groups of people who take over, and this is clearly what's being done in Michigan and in Minnesota and in other places.
Yeah, what I don't understand, people have encouraged this minister, Ted Barham's his name, to take some sort of civil action against Dearborn. He said, I'm not going to do that. But what they should do, and I don't know why anybody wouldn't do this, why would somebody not file a civil suit to enforce the noise ordinances? Look, if I had loudspeakers blaring at 5:30 in the morning, playing, revival music, I'd get shut down. I would get fined. It could get worse if it escalated, if I persisted in the behavior. It runs contrary to the law of the city. And they don't care, do they?
No, they don't care. It's a takeover. And this has been going on for a long time. Way back before I was canceled from teaching, I was teaching at Emory University. This was, over 15 years ago. And I came in to teach. And, I hear the call to prayer being issued out over the campus. And I said, what is that? And my students said, don't you know it's Ramadan? I mean, where am I? I'm an immigrant from an Eastern European country. And, we were encouraged to be Americanized, and we would never impose our traditions and our customs on others. And this is a clear violation of American principles. They claim that there's a separation between church and state and that we have the freedom to worship, yet they want to impose literally with a noise at 5:30 a.m. on Americans, of all faiths.
Yeah, I consider it noise. I agree with that classification. How do they do anything about it? If nobody has the guts to, not one citizen in Dearborn, Michigan has the guts to say, look, you can't do this. Are they in fear? Because if that was happening in my city, I would say, no, you can't. I would go hire an attorney and file a civil lawsuit against the city for violating its own laws. But it seems they're intimidated.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's a big intimidation game. I mean, those of us who have been fired from jobs, who've been canceled from academia and from other places of employment know what it's like. I mean, when I was teaching, I was just a temporary instructor semester to semester, But if I, said something about such a noise, interrupting my classes as we're trying to study American literature, I would have been given the boot, quicker than I was. So, you're it's numbers. It's a numbers game, and they're in the majority. And this points back to the era of the 1965 Immigration Act, when people from third world countries were allowed in mass numbers without any effort to assimilate them. In fact, the education system encourages students to maintain their cultures, whatever it is, Sharia law, any kind of religion other than being Christian or Jewish, and implementing non-Western policies. They don't like the American form of government. They don't like constitutionalism, representation, democracy.
They don't like any of it.
No, of course.
And here's the thing: at the end of the day, here's where you're going to have the crisis, and you know this, Mary. We are promised a Republican form of government in this document called the Constitution. A Republican form of government. That's it. And anything less is unacceptable. Anyhow, Mary, I got to leave it there. I greatly appreciate you being here. We'll keep an eye on what's going on down there, but it doesn't seem to be improving. The noise, I'm going to guess, is still happening. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it. All right, when we come back, Ken Cuccinelli's going to be here, so stick around for that here on the Steve Gruber Show. Glad to see you on a Wednesday.